Introducing our 2022 beautiful Raw Beauty Ambassadors.
Hello, I'm Diana Lucci Davis, and I'm a survivor of childhood molestation, rape, and domestic violence. My child molestation started when I was about 7 years old. It was from a family neighbor who was a family friend. I was raped when I was pregnant with one of my children who survived, and I survived the domestic violence from a past relationship. The trauma from my childhood molestation is what led me into toxic relationships, and addressing that trauma helped me make better choices in relationships now further into my life. I was 22 years old. I was 3 months pregnant with my child. He was a friend, so I thought he was a friend. And he knew that I was pregnant. He didn't take no for an answer. And it was a really difficult thing to get through because I was afraid of what would happen to my unborn child. It was a very difficult time in my life. The police told me to get over it. They felt like I was doing that because I left the man that was abusing me. And as soon as I left him, I was raped. And they said that, oh, you're just doing this to get back at him. I never received justice.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So I want women to know that still fight and don't give up.
Mm-hmm.
Still bring awareness in spite of there are police that will help, there are people that will help, there are organizations that will listen, that you don't have to go unheard and be silent. Don't suffer in silence. I was being physically abused from the person that I left, and then I was raped.
Again?
Yeah. So my kid's father raped me before and physically abused me, and then when I left him, I was raped while pregnant.
A second time?
Yeah. So I didn't let anybody know about my kid's father because I wanted to save my family. And I knew it wasn't functional. I knew it was toxic, but I still wanted my kids to have a father because that was something I never had. But I did have the police notified for the other man that I thought was my friend. And that's who they didn't believe me regarding him because they knew that I had left my kid's father, who was the one physically and sexually abusing me and emotionally abusing me. So he's never forgiven me for leaving him, and he still tries to make me suffer 15 years later because we have 2 children together. So he uses the children to hurt me in any way that he can through our children. And he started working on breaking generational curses because he started physically abusing our daughter. And we're in an ugly custody war, and she's with me now because she was living with him, and now she's with me, and the abuse stops. He will no longer abuse my child anymore. And I'm doing this to show her that we are resilient. We will not allow him to steal our joy, that we are going to continue to progress. And this is what success looks like, and you couldn't take it from us. That this is not the setting that you want for your family. This is not the example that you want for your children. In the scripture, in the Bible, it states to teach your children in the way that they should go, and they will never wander from that learning. You don't want to teach them that this is what a functioning relationship looks like. Do not normalize dysfunction, because then they will live in dysfunction and toxicity and think that it's okay. So we have to teach our children that this is not okay, even though it's a hard stance to take, and it can be very lonely and scary to do it on your own, but you will survive. And if you can't do it for yourself, do it for your babies. I am happy that my doctor said that in 5 years that I was going to be paralyzed based off of my spinal issues. And I am here walking, not only walking, but I have been without a cane almost a year now.
Praise
And
God.
I am absolutely excited that I have gotten my mobility back in spite of what the doctor said that I was not going to be able to. And I am here walking happily in life. The air, the positivity, the support, the love, you can just feel it in the air. It's just, you feel it. It's just everywhere. Like I'm breathing it, I'm thinking it, I'm feeling it. I've gotten hugs and support, and I can feel I appreciate every woman in their story that they've been through. And it's like, I appreciate you for surviving. I appreciate everything that you've been through. Just thank you. You know, so it's just, it's amazing. I am Diana Lucci Davis, and I am Raw Beauty proud. what was her name?
Astrid.
Astrid. I met Astrid at the nail salon. And she was talking to the nail tech about her calendar.
Mm-hmm.
And she was saying what it stood for, what the organization stood for. And I said, hey, that sounds like me and my mom that sounds like our story. That sounds like our testimony. And I started talking to her about what I've been through, that my mother is also a cancer survivor and domestic violence survivor. Her and my mother-in-law are both breast cancer survivors and domestic violence survivor. And I'm like, this would be amazing for them and for all of us to tell our story of how we survived it and how we survived it as a family.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, I've never heard of anything like that to support women, especially women of color, because this is not something that is talked about in our community. Mm-hmm. So I said, I want to be absolutely a part of it, absolutely 100% in any way.